YouTubiverse. Hello. Hi, Soul Fam. How are we? I hope everyone's okay. Had to have a couple days rest to meditate and pray. Basically, just had a really rough week. And then on Friday, I subjected everyone to my cat screaming bad karaoke, which no one needs. And I just felt really weak, and I hate feeling weak. I hate it. And I went, because of everything that's gone on and going on. And I thought to myself, because I was hanging like a fruit bat yesterday. It's too loud, sorry. Bear with me. Sorry. Yeah, so basically on Friday, I went. This is the conversation that went on in my mind. I was like, I've had a really rough week. Just have a drink. Just have a glass of wine or something. And then it went like, everyone else is drinking, so there's nothing wrong with you having a glass of wine at home. Everyone else is out drinking, so you're just at home. Just have a little glass of wine. You deserve it. You've had a shit week. And then in my mind as well, I know what I am like. And I was like, so at the same time as that conversation's going on, this other conversation is like, you don't really like drinking. It's not going to end well. You know that you're going to drink and then you're going to feel like shit on Saturday. You know that you're going to because alcohol is a depressant, and that's the last thing you need right now. And the knock-on effect of that will be emotional eating. Then I probably won't stick to my exercise. It's like a snowball effect. And even though it's just having a drink, which isn't that bad, but it's all the knock-on effects of it. And needless to say, it doesn't take me much to get drunk now. And yeah, and everything that I knew would happen happened. So I felt like rubbish yesterday. I was comfort eating, and then I felt guilty for comfort eating. So then I go into, then I have mentally going through that sort of food issues. Then you're going, just all this is my point is this, I never really realised before how much it impacts everything else. In terms of your mental health, physical health, I think I'm convinced. I've gone to the doctor this week to have some blood tests. I think I'm actually, I don't know. I'm just really, this week I've been so exhausted. And I think it's an energy thing. There's this full moon on and all of that. And obviously everything else that's going on. So I should have actually just listened to myself on Friday when I was giving myself a pre-telling off. I should have just not had a drink. It would have been better, but I did have one. And then obviously I've just had to tell myself off yesterday, basically. So back on the water, the decaf. Just felt like I wasted a day. Although it did, I was watching Eurovision, which just gave me endless joy. So that's okay. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been. So I hope everyone's okay. And then today, just full of rage because I put this post up right on Facebook, and Facebook removed it immediately. I've never seen them remove something so quick. Right, I'm going to read you the post because I posted it somewhere else as well. It was a photo. It said, "Do not be afraid," was the photo, right? And the comment, the actual text of the post was, right, listen. The government is lying. They're corrupt. Evidence of their corruption and lies are being exposed on a daily basis, which they are. They're putting profit before people and terrifying people around the world, around the globe, in line to line the pockets of the capitalist ruling class. Do not be afraid. Listen to sense, experts, and science rather than mainstream media, who are funded by the very people benefiting from this pandemic continuing. 664 billionaires have doubled their net wealth, tax-free, in brackets, avoidance and loopholes, in the last 12 months as a result of the pandemic. That's trillions of reasons to keep it going. That is a fact. 95+% recover. That is also a fact. Ivermectin is a drug that's globally available and cheap. It's been around for decades, vast amounts of research and testing. Physicians around the world have been pleading to their governments to approve it for immediate use since March 2020. Also a fact. As it's proven to dramatically reduce mortality, dramatically reduce the need for ventilation, dramatically reduce time in ICU, dramatically reduce time in hospital, dramatically increase speed of recovery, and all of the knock-on effects to NHS hospital services, treatments, diagnosis, staff burnout, mental health, wouldn't be what they are now either if it had been approved. But there's no money in it, so guess what? It's still not been approved. How many lives could have been saved? They have blood on their hands. This drug has so much evidence that people around the world are successfully getting court orders, also a fact, to force hospitals to treat their family members and friends with it, and they recover. These are facts. I'm anti putting anything, something into my body that they don't even know the long-term effects of. Let's not forget the pharmaceutical industry has created thousands of drugs that at the time of their creation were approved by regulatory bodies around the world as okay, promoted widely as cures, and subsequently have been found to cause serious illness, all kinds of cancers, autoimmune diseases, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, addictions, and so on. Like these are facts. Let's look at the top. If you look at the top 15 most dangerous drugs in the world, the top over half of them are prescription drugs. Opioids. That's the biggest crime of the century. They've created an entire generations of addicts. And let's not forget, Johnson & Johnson have created fentanyl. Fentanyl, a gram of fentanyl has the ability to cause 50,000 overdoses. A gram of pure fentanyl. Yeah. So don't tell me I have to fucking have anything put in me that's created by these motherfuckers. That there's corrupt as they come. They're creating shit that kills people. Yeah. Not only that, these vaccines, it's new technologies. It's not really, if you look at the research, they haven't actually, the clinical trials aren't actually done on that many people. And they don't know the long-term effects. They don't talk about any of these things in the mainstream media. They certainly don't cover the full list of side effects that is occurring. Sorry, where's my... As a result, it's only supposed to last 6 months. People are still getting COVID after they've had the full dosage. So what is the point of putting something you literally don't know? And you can't tell me you can trust these people when they're repeatedly through history, the same companies have proven to have created drugs, created medicines, cures, and then these have been approved so they can sell them to us. And they just make us sicker. So no, I'm not having it. No, and nobody can tell me no different. The end. Anyway, so I put that up on Facebook, and literally, it must have been minutes before it got taken down, and they put on there that I was abusing community standards. Community standards. Are you having a giraffe? Right? So then I put, right, so then I put this post. And I put hashtagged in Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. But you just deleted a post of mine which contained nothing but actual provable scientific facts from the FLCCC, which is Frontline Critical Care Alliance, and physicians, lawyers from around the world, as well as a speech from Pfizer's own ex-VP with regards to COVID-19. Yet you, in brackets, not a medical professional of any kind, just a billionaire with an agenda who thinks he knows better than all of these combined. The removal of my post is censorship and in no way breaches any community standards other than Facebook's continued assault on the truth. You allow misinformation, paedophiles, extremists and fraudsters to use your platform freely. You use our information and data to manipulate the masses. If you haven't seen The Greatest Hack, watch that, you'll see. Sell it behind people's backs, and same thing. And silence anyone who doesn't conform to your dominion or control. You are a digital dictator. How many times is it that you have been hauled into Senate, Congress and Supreme Court over just this kind of abuse of power? Oh yeah, I've lost count. It's true. It's true. He's left that one up though. I was allowed to keep that post. So yeah, I'm feeling rage right now. I'm feeling rage, and I'm one of my friends who is a little bit older than me, has just had this vaccine, and I'm concerned for him, to be honest, because he's already got an immune illness, and he said on there he's not very well at all. So, and what staggers me is how quickly people are forgetting. things that have gone on this year, things from the last few years. It's almost like, is that what they're banking on? Are they banking on people not being bothered? Are they banking on people not checking? Are they banking on people being so tired of this now that they're just gonna accept whatever is being thrown at them? Because that's what it feels like. It feels like that to me. Because, the reason I say that is because just the whole NHS right now. So the government, right? So they spent off the top of my head, it's around 250 million, maybe more, on building 6 Nightingale hospitals during the pandemic, which were for patients, COVID patients. They did not use these 6 Nightingale hospitals that they managed to build really, really quickly and at great expense to the taxpayer. And then just 6 months later, so also let's not forget the hospitals were overrun, everyone was tired. They had these spaces, but they weren't using them. Because if they'd have moved all the COVID patients into the special COVID hospitals specifically built for COVID patients, then all the other patients could have been treated in the hospital. But no, they didn't do that. They cancelled all the treatments, they cancelled all the diagnosis, they cancelled all the operations for everyone else and kept COVID patients in the normal hospitals rather than in the purpose-built ones that they built at great expense to the taxpayer. And then 6 months later, they went, oh, you know what? On the sly, we're just going to pay a load more money to have all of these hospitals taken down. Hope no one notices. So they had all these hospitals taken down. That has just gone it's been swept under the carpet massively. And I'm like, why is no one kicking off about this? What is going on? Not only that, obviously NHS staff, doctors, nurses have not they've given a 1% pay increase. They're throwing billions of pounds around willy-fucking-nilly, wasting it money. There's a perfect example there on those hospitals. The next, that's only one thing. They also spent millions, hundreds of millions on PPE that was ordered with the wrong spec. Whose fucking fault's that? That person should be fired. They ordered PPE that wasn't up to standards. So they spent hundreds of millions on this PPE that is now sat in a storage unit somewhere, not able to be used because it's not satisfactory. It's not usable. More money wasted. Then let's also factor in that they had already created a pandemic plan from 2011 in minute detail that said they should have been stockpiling all of these things should an influenza pandemic occur. So why hadn't they stuck to the plan that they wrote in 2011? Why hadn't they done any of the recommendations that was in that plan? Why did we even bother paying for a plan in the fucking first place if no one's going to pay attention to it? Why wasn't that plan brought out at the beginning of last year? Literally, it was a play-by-play. You could have just followed that thing and it would have been better than this shit show that we've witnessed right here. Yeah? All of those are questions that I need answering. Next one. This is a thing here. NHS cash used to keep private hospitals afloat. So it's just it's an absolute insult to anyone that's working anyone who's in frontliner position, whether that's NHS, police, fire service, ambulance service, carers, all of these people that have just worked so hard for so long. And, I'm sorry, but a clap on a Thursday at 8:00 is just really nothing, is it? It's just an insult. I mean, it's nice for them, I'm sure, but at the same time, what is that going to do to support them? Whether it's, financial support, mental support, whatever it is, this is just so backwards. And then this here, People's COVID inquiry has spend on private care is up, but sector provided minimal COVID-19 assistance. So what they're also doing here over this time is they're bringing in, not only are they slowly eroding all of our human rights and changing legislation willy-nilly with no checks and balances, they are also slowly privatising the NHS without anyone noticing or saying anything. So, private hospitals provided less healthcare to the NHS during the pandemic than they did in 2019, despite receiving, wait for it, £1 billion in government funding, the People's COVID Inquiry has heard. The COVID contracts to private hospitals were supposed to support 8,000 beds for NHS patients, but they provided, so 8,000 beds a day, but they only provided 67 a day at the peak. They still got paid the billion though. They still got paid $1 billion. What? So private hospitals got paid $1 billion for doing fuck all, and meanwhile NHS overrun, under-supported, under-financed, short-staffed, overworked, did millions of hours of overtime for nothing, put their lives on the line out day in, day out for what now? For 16 months, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and they got $1 billion. They get $1 billion. So I'm saying, like, why is it? Because people are just tired and they're not paying attention, and it's only the mainstream media, and they're only going to be feeding what they want you to know, which is not the truth. It's not all the whole truth and nothing but the truth, that for sure. It's only going to be the one side that meets their needs. Here we go. The 7th session of the inquiry, organised by Keep Our NHS Public on Wednesday, heard from medical professionals and academics. Professor David McCoy of Queen Mary University of London and the Centre for Health and Public Interest spoke about the as yet unpublished report by the think tank. He told the online inquiry the contract stated that around 8,000 beds would be made available to the NHS. And there was a stated number of doctors, nurses and other clinical workers, but a large amount of that capacity wasn't actually used. So who's responsible for why? Why was these people being paid and they're not being used? And the NHS are not getting their pay rises. That's what I mean. It's just, all of it is fucking ridiculous. And then people are still voting for them to stay in. And don't even get me started on Brexit. What an absolute fucking shambles that is. Like, going, I've spoken about this before, obviously. But they are, nothing good has come from Brexit. Not a thing. Not a thing. Nothing that they said was going to happen. Any kind of benefits. I can't even remember how they sold it. I was not for Brexit. So I can't even remember the messaging at the time for how they managed, other than the immigration thing, which also they haven't done anyway. And it's just a long list of cons. There are no pros to Brexit whatsoever. And you're just seeing it. We're how many months in now? Like, we're nearly in June. And all it has done has caused absolute fucking chaos for every industry, both sides and also Northern Ireland with this border. It's just absolute fucking chaos. They're trying to kill fishing, killing agriculture, all of these taxes, all of the extra checks, all of the, extra cost of shipping stuff here, there, and everywhere. The downside to people that actually expats that live in other countries now. You can't freely move between the countries. Like, there is no benefits to Brexit. Not one. Like, we should have another vote on that. Like, Scotland are lucky. Because if they get to have another vote and rejoin the EU, that's what we should do. Because it's an absolute... it's hell for everybody that is, has any actual impact. Like, a lot of the people that voted aren't people that are directly impacted on a trade level. They're just kind of people that obviously got bought this whole immigration thing, which again, I think was used to bring out the I hate to say it, but bring out the racist in people. Because, there's that kind of, immigrants come to this country and take our jobs. No, they don't. They do jobs that English people can't be fucking bothered to do. That's the truth of it. Yeah? That is true. They're not taking anyone's jobs. They're doing jobs that English people won't do, that are left vacant, and then and people want to have a job. So they are prepared to work hard and do the jobs. Because you think about agriculture, loads of farming jobs, they struggled last year. They struggled. I mean, obviously it was during a pandemic, but they struggled to fill their jobs because people in this country don't want to do them. So they actively have to recruit from, or pre-Brexit, they'd actively recruit from other countries, because people from other countries will travel here to do that job, to work hard, to earn that money and send money home. So, that view of that has just got to change, because that's just not the case. People don't do that. And the way it's portrayed again in the media, and way that is wrong. Anyone, and if it's a case of defrauding or frauding the system or whatever, I don't think anyone really has the right to say anything, because I know loads of people that have frauded various different systems. So, you can't be tarnishing anybody with any kind of brush or judgment, really. And like, for example, my mum has carers, and they have we've had to change just this last week as well, because the care company, they're short staffed because of COVID, people going off sick, people leaving, and because it is a stressful job at the best of times. Obviously this last year's been very difficult, and so they're short staffed and they can't get someone to come out here, so we had to find another company and go through all of that rigmarole. Anyway, the company that she did have, the way it works is the council find the care company to send the invoice to council, and then my mum pays a percentage to the council, and they just pay the rest. now, and that's based on the amount of money she owns, right? From what my dad left her. Now, this care company, so they charge an hourly rate to the council per carer per visit. So they're supposed to come in the morning, 2 in the morning. They have to have 2 because my mum is in a wheelchair and has to be hoisted. So she has like a hospital bed. She has to be hoisted in and out of bed to her chair, etc. So you need to have 2 people for safety. So they sent, obviously, they ended and they've got the new ones this week. And then they've done this before, but they sent her the invoice. They sent her a copy of the invoice that they sent to the council, and they were charging because they've been short-staffed. I was doing it, which is not a problem. I'm here anyway. But they'd still charged the council for all of the times when they'd cancelled because someone couldn't make it and I'd done it on my own. Or I'd done it, maybe one person had come. But they're still charging the council for 2 carers every time. So I mean, and they've done it loads of times before. And obviously my mum went back to her and she's like, well, you're not even working for me for this last week and you're charging them for that week. You can't do that. So, it's a mistake. Obviously, that's the first time my mum's moaned about it. And because I told my mum before, I was like, just phone up the actual council and say they're having you on. Because it's not the first time. But my point is this. There's people all over the show that are trying to get something out of the system somewhere. Even on the TV on, what is the programme now? I want to say Watchdog, something like that. Oh, Rip Off Britain, that's it. And there was a case where a guy was working for a charity that paid disabled payments to people. And he'd managed to work, he was originally an independent contractor, and he'd managed to work his way into a permanent job, and he was doing the accounts. And he was basically setting up, he was basically paying himself disabled payments from the sort of central pot that was supposed to be going out into the county that he was working for. And over a 6-month period, he paid himself 500 grand. And another one was people who work for the benefit system, so Universal Credit, they worked for Universal Credit as as the people that, again, interview other people. And the way that they were doing it was they were just getting people with fake documents and that to come in and setting up Universal Credit applications and pay. So that there's so a guy, there was like 2 or 3 of them all working in conjunction with each other, and they were paying people like £500 a week to find people that they could use their details to set up these fake accounts. So I think we should be more worried about what we got going on here than we are about people coming in and trying to take stuff, because they're not trying to take stuff. They're just trying to have a better life and do a job. And if they're prepared to do a job that English people, British people, UK people aren't prepared to do, then what problem? Why is there a problem? Like, I don't get it. I told you I was in a rant. I told you. Where am I? So the CHPI has estimated that over the course of the pandemic, on average, there was 1 COVID patient per day in the private hospital sector, and only £1 billion in the last year for 8,000 beds a day plus doctors, nurses, clinicians, and support staff. One a day they've dealt with for that billion. And up to 67, sorry, at peak. The government has set aside a budget in order to continue to pay NHS patients in private hospital sector as part of a 4-year programme which aims to allocate 2.5 billion a year to the private hospital sector. That's 2.5 billion a year on top of the billion. I can understand it if they're actually going to then support it, but then they've already been paid $1 billion already and not done nothing for it. Sorry, guys, but this is my point. Like, what? The way that it's just being skimmed over or swept under the carpet or just being, what's the word? Being just picking and choosing the bits of the truth that they want to tell and leaving everything else out. Because that isn't, if people are making decisions, whatever it is, they should have all the facts. And a lot of people don't have the time or the inclination necessarily to go and do all of the extra research or know where to look or whatever it is. That's where it's dangerous. This is how the Trumpeteers happen. The 6th of January riot. How did that happen? How did that many people get so angry and still actually sort of like how did that happen? And that's why it's dangerous. That's why not having the whole truth is dangerous. And you've got to think as well, so many channels, so many different programs, not everyone's watching the same things at the same time. Some people aren't even watching anything to do with it. They're just, all they're on is Facebook. And that is even scarier. I was going to tell you another story here now. Oh, what was it? Oh yeah. So I was thinking, I've done a video about this before, and it was about plastic, how you can convert plastic into fuel. It's true. And so I did a post on that before. I did not know this. I up until whenever it was, several months ago, I didn't know that you could turn plastic into fuel. So although it's a problem, we mustn't forget, we've got the technology to suck it all up. Now we've got the technology to convert it into fuel. Wait for it. Today I saw this, which is it's a website called azocleantech.com, converting plastic into jet fuel to reduce CO2 emissions. So it says, hold on, just while it loads up. Like I always do. So yeah. In February 2021, green energy organisation Clean Planet Energy revealed its revolutionary technology that will convert non-recyclable plastics into ultra-clean jet fuel. The innovation provides a solution to two significant environmental issues: rapidly rising plastic waste and increasing CO2 emissions in the aviation sector. CO2 emissions and plastic pollution, two significant environmental threats. So yeah, global plastic pollution has become a crisis and is one of the world's most pressing environmental issues. Although many countries in the developed world have ramped up recycling efforts in recent years, plastic's annual production continues to increase, and many developing countries struggle to implement recycling strategies. Nearly half of all plastics ever made were produced in the last 15 years, representing an increased production rate, which is predicted to continue. The cost to the environment and human health is huge. Around 8 million tonnes of plastic waste end up in the oceans every year. In addition, the slow degradation of plastic releases microplastics into the environment. Research has shown that microplastics enter the human body via numerous routes and negatively impact our health as well. So they've obviously got the tech to turn plastics into jet fuel, which is clean and better for the environment. So then I thought, oh, wait a minute. If they set up this company, if they set up recycling plants or pay people in local communities, particularly where the rubbish is really dense, like in various places in Africa, the Nile, and obviously there's those huge rivers and things in India as well, where there's lots of rubbish. I mean, it's not just those places. It's obviously a problem everywhere, but they could pay, they could set up, that could be a thriving business, because then it was providing jobs for local people. It will be cleaning the environment, giving them jobs, and you'd be turning it into fuel. Come on. So I got really excited about that when I read it. So yeah, I'm going to share that. So yeah, this week I decided yesterday in my pity party for one / hanging like a fruit bat / meditation / praying that I was going to, I watched this video about this guy called Wayne Dyer, who had like an epiphany when he was going to visit his dad's grave, went to a hotel room and wrote a book in 2 weeks. So I thought, if he can, maybe I can. So I started writing a book yesterday. And it's only just based on all of the stuff that I've done over the last year, all of the craziness, and all of the stuff that's in my videos and that. So I think I could do it, because I've got all of the text essentially already. So I'm going to give it a go. I'm really going to I'm going to throw myself into it. I'm going to set myself out a time every day. I'm going to go to the library, because I'm finding I'm finding my living room really claustrophobic at the minute. So I'm going to really try and stick to it for the next 2 weeks and see what I can do. See if I can do 20 pages a day. Because I reckon I could. Theoretically, I should be able to. If he can, loads of other people obviously write books. I've already essentially got it. So there's no reason I shouldn't be able to do it. There's none. So I'm going to give it a go. And I'm getting a tattoo tomorrow. A tribal one, sleeve. Just because I find tattoos really therapeutic on so many levels. It's like first it means something. I'm cool with it being there for life because it means something. And it's also like to do with this year and everything I've kind of gone through. and continue to go through, and all of the changes, and it's kind of it hurts, and I can't like that. I know it's a bit weird, but it's like what's the word? I don't mind that it hurts, because this year has hurt, if you know what I mean. So, and at the end of it, it'll look cool. So I'm quite excited about that as well. And been invited to fire, breathe, and perform at 2 parties. So I'm most excited about those. Very excited. COVID secure, obviously. So yeah, that is cool. You're getting out of the house, but it's, it'll be a bit different because I won't stay like I used to, because it'll just turn into chaos. And what I've found this year as well, particularly as it goes on, I fucking, what I hate? I go on webinars and all of this stuff all the time, just learning stuff, and it's really starting to drain me now, like that this technology is like, but at the same time, most of the people that I know, or a lot of people, just aren't on the same tip that I'm on, or the same journey that I'm on, or have the same interests. I've changed. My interests have changed. And I just want better. I want more. I want to experience things. I want to do things. I don't want to do it all. Just, And I'm not going to have. It's hard to really put into words, because I love them all dearly, but I also don't want to be dragged into that, because I'm just not that anymore. And I just enjoy learning and doing other stuff, different stuff, experiencing new things. So yeah, so they're quite triggering for me. You know what I mean? Like, and you can't really, even though they're your friends, you can't really talk to them about things that you're interested in, because they just don't care. They don't care about any of the same stuff. All they care about is going out and getting drunk, or, you know what I mean? So yeah, I had a right old to do with my mum as well today. Oh man, I feel awful. I did apologise immediately, but she's obviously it's just not been a great week. Let's put it that way. And yeah, and I can't remember what came up. It's about the royal family now. As you well know, if you've watched my channel, I'm not a big fan. I am not a big fan. I love Harry and Meghan. Don't get me wrong. I love Harry and Meghan. I think Harry is an absolute fucking warrior. And William and Kate as well. But the rest of them, they can do one. And yeah, my mum's of the generation royal. Let's put it that way. So I can't remember what happened, but she made something was on the TV, and I think I just made some comment like, "Oh well." That they should be abolished anyway, which of course is a possibility, because the King of Greece was only abolished in the 70s, guys. So if they did it then, what's to say we can't do it now? Just saying. And yeah, and I was saying something about that they should be abolished because all they do is take taxpayers' money and they give absolutely nothing back. What do they actually do other than unveil plaques and shake hands? And for that, they cost the UK hundreds of millions of pounds a year. That's just my personal opinion. I just don't think they have any place anymore. They can earn their own money. We shouldn't have to pay for them. Harry and Meghan have proved that. Kate and William have got their own YouTube channel now, for God's sake. Just allow it. Like, they don't have to be this like aloof, like nonsense. They're humans, aren't they? Well, actually, I'm not too sure about the rest, but Harry and William and Meghan and Kate definitely are human. The rest are debatable. Certainly the top one. So yeah, that's just my opinion on it. My mum got very upset. Not upset, like teary upset. She got very angry with me. She got very angry. And then, needless to say, I kind of whipped out all of my various different bits of evidence, and that just annoyed her even more. So we had a little to do, and then I apologised. So I just said, look, we're just going to have to agree to disagree on this one. So anyway, that's where I'm at. That's where I've been. That's where I'm going. So yeah, all in all, it's okay. I was teary yesterday though, but I pulled it together. And today's a new day. Tomorrow will be better. So for anyone out there who is struggling, know the universe has your back and you are loved. So I will be back tomorrow for more nonsense, and hope you all have a good evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. And don't give up. Love you.